Grandpa came to visit us at the dorm after lunch. He was sitting on a long, multicolored bench near the entrance with a bright smile on his face, his eyes slightly closed, and slowly inhaling the scent of blooming rose hips carried by the warm breeze. He was waiting for me to return from school, having first stopped by the delicatessen and bought several chocolate eclairs with cream. He knew that my brother and I loved them, but our parents did not spoil us with sweets at all, only on holidays. I approached him and interrupted the moment of unity with nature with my greeting. He quickly got up from the bench, embraced me with his strong arms, lifted me a few centimeters from the ground, and began to twitch, expressing in this way that he missed me very much and had been waiting for a long time to meet. Entering the room, Grandpa quickly undressed, put the kettle on, put the eclairs on the table, and said in a commanding voice that while he was cooking soup, I could go and pick up my brother Sashka from kindergarten, and we would all have lunch together. My brother's teacher knew me and trusted me, so she woke him up without any warning, and we went together to the yard of the house. On the way, I told him that Grandpa had arrived, brought our favorite eclairs, and was now making soup. And I also added ironically that when Grandpa took off his boots in the room, he had strange rags wrapped around his feet. We laughed together at the fact that he was well off, but could not buy normal trousers, socks, and shoes for himself, wore some old stuff, all shabby and full of holes, and in his apartment, having a luxurious sofa and bed, he slept on a folding bed or on the floor next to his grandmother. Grandfather went through the entire war, receiving 3 wounds and ending his campaign in the 2nd Ukrainian as a battery commander. After the war, he spent a long time treating his leg, which was shattered by a shrapnel shell and somehow miraculously collected in the hospital and saved. He limped for many years and walked with a cane, but his strong character and great desire to be in the ranks won. After several operations, the bones healed normally, and the cane was no longer needed. All the years of his rehabilitation, he wore foot wraps and boots, military breeches, and a worn-out tunic, and said that for him these were the most comfortable shoes and clothes. When my brother and I grew up and learned about the life story of our heroic grandfather, we felt very ashamed that we laughed at his foot wraps and breeches. After his death, my father and I managed to save some of his awards, breeches, and tunic, but the foot wraps and boots disappeared without a trace. Apparently, one of the relatives decided that it was not worth saving the old stuff and threw it away. But I still want to preserve the memorable story about the foot wraps, because it was in them and old soldiers' boots that my grandfather found a new life in peacetime.